Ms. Ruthie Bloom, former advisor at the office of Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, now joins us on the program from Tel Aviv. Ms. Bloom is also an author and an award-winning columnist. Thanks for joining us. Now, Ms. Bloom, according to reports, the updated deal is not significantly different from the proposal presented earlier in August. That deal hadn't materialized. What is the possibility of things coming to fruition this time?
Well, it's hard to say because when you're negotiating with a terrorist organization, you never know. But I'll tell you, certain conditions have changed that perhaps make it more likely. And the main one is the imminent inauguration of President-elect Donald Trump, who this week issued a very strong statement warning the perpetrators. And basically, he didn't say Hamas, but that's whom he was addressing, that they better release the hostages, or they'll have all hell to pay. So that's one thing that changed. Another thing that changed is that Israel made a temporary ceasefire deal with Hezbollah in Lebanon, and so when situations in the region change, they open up possibilities.
Ms. Bloom, how should we as international media view this development? Since you mentioned US President-elect Donald Trump, I must point out here that this does come at the back of Donald Trump on Wednesday announcing that he's appointing Adam Boehler as his special envoy for hostage affairs. Boehler was part of the White House team that negotiated the Abraham Accords during Trump's first term. So what does this really mean for West Asia in the larger context?
Well, I think what it means, what President Trump's intention, in any case, means is that what we need to do is get back on track to stop wars perpetrated by bad actors in the region and encourage peace treaties, as we saw with the Abraham Accords. That is definitely his intention. It's his stated intention. And that's what we all hope for, is peace, not war. That's very difficult to accomplish when Iran, the greatest state sponsor of terrorism, and its many proxies in the region, continue to perpetrate massacres, rocket launches, the drone strikes. So, this is a very precarious time, especially with a renewed bout of civil war in Syria. Yet, Hamas must be hedging its bets right now, for example, and therefore, hopefully, there's a chance to have the hostages freed, at least most of them.
You did explain to us how this might work out this time around. Also, additionally, how else is this different this time? Do we expect to see a rejig of numbers when talking about the number of days of ceasefire, the number of hostages to be released, and, of course, the number of Palestinian prisoners to be released for each hostage? Or are there other factors that make this updated deal different?
Well, I'll tell you, all of those little details, it's not like buying or selling an apartment. These details, where Hamas is concerned, are really beside the point. You're talking about an ideological and religious movement that really has, its goal is to annihilate the state of Israel. I mean, it's also its patron saints in Iran's goal. So when you're talking about these little details, okay, how many days of a ceasefire? Those are far less relevant than the ultimate goal. And so Hamas constantly rejects anything that would suggest that it's going to lose power in Gaza. And so how many days of a ceasefire is really not the point. Although, again, what's going to happen, I assume what's going to happen is that they're going to reject the final part of the deal, which will be that they cannot remain in power in Gaza.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Bloom, for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.